Have you ever loved someone so deeply that losing them felt like losing a part of yourself? Maybe it was a best friend who slowly drifted away, a partner who left without a real goodbye, or someone you gave everything to only to realize they were never fully there. You told yourself to move on. You tried, but the thoughts kept coming back, the memories, the questions, the pain. What if I told you that over 2,000 years ago, one of the most powerful men who ever lived, a Roman emperor named Marcus Aurelius, faced the same kind of pain? And what if his answer wasn't stop feeling, but something far more powerful? Today, I'm going to share with you 5 Stoic rules that will help you emotionally detach from someone, not by becoming cold, not by pretending you don't care, but by becoming free. Truly, deeply free. Stay with me. This one could change everything. Life has a way of teaching us hard lessons, and one of the hardest is this. People come and go. We build deep connections. We open our hearts. We make someone a big part of our world. And then, through distance, change, or silence, that bond begins to break. When that happens, most of us ask the same questions. How do I stop caring so much? How do I let go without losing myself? Is it even possible to detach emotionally and still be a good person? The answer is yes. And the Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, show us exactly how. But here's what most people get wrong about emotional detachment. It is not about shutting people out. It is not about becoming numb or cold or building walls around your heart. True emotional detachment is about freedom, the freedom to love without losing yourself, to care without being controlled, and to face loss without being destroyed by it. These 5 rules are not just philosophy, they are practical, real, and deeply human. Let's begin. Rule 1. Understand that nothing lasts forever. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Think about that for a second. When we hold on to someone, when we refuse to let go, we are not holding on to them. We are holding on to a story we created, a version of them we built in our minds, a feeling we don't want to lose. But here's the truth the Stoics want you to hear. All things end. Every relationship, every season of closeness, every version of a person, they all change. They all pass. This isn't meant to make you sad, it's meant to set you free. Think of holding a fistful of sand at the beach. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. That's what clinging to people feels like. The tighter you hold, the more you lose. I had a friendship that lasted over 10 years. We shared our biggest dreams and our darkest fears. We talked late into the night like nothing could ever pull us apart. But slowly, the distance grew. The calls stopped. The connection faded. For a long time, I fought it. I kept reaching back, trying to hold on to what we had. And that resistance, that refusal to accept the change, caused me far more pain than the loss itself ever did. It wasn't until I accepted that the friendship had run its course that I could finally breathe again. Marcus Aurelius would say, "Accept that things end, and you will suffer far less when they do." Impermanence is not your enemy. It is life being honest with you. Rule 2. Master your emotions with your mind. Here's something most people never realize. Your emotions don't control you. Your thoughts do. Pain, sadness, jealousy, anxiety, these feelings don't just appear on their own. They are born from the stories your mind tells about what is happening. Change the story, and you change how you feel. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He also said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In simple words, what you keep thinking about shapes how you feel inside. Let me give you an example most of us know too well. You send a heartfelt message to someone you care about. An hour passes. then 2, no reply, and slowly your mind starts to spiral. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Do they even care? But here's the question the Stoics would ask. What are the actual facts here? The fact is, they haven't replied yet. That's it. Everything else, the rejection, the anger, the story about what their silence means, that's all coming from you, not from them. I once tortured myself for an entire evening over a friend who had stopped replying mid-conversation. By the time I went to sleep, I had convinced myself the friendship was over. The next morning, they messaged me like nothing had happened. They had simply gotten busy. I had built a storm inside my head over nothing. The Stoic response is simple. Pause. Ask what is actually true. Then choose a thought that frees you instead of one that traps you. You cannot always control what happens, but you can always control how your mind responds to it. If this video is helping you see things differently, please take a second to hit the like button and leave a comment below. Tell me one pattern you've noticed in your own relationships. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Rule 3. Practice imagining the worst. This rule might sound strange at first. Bear with me. The Stoics had a practice called negative visualization, the habit of calmly imagining losing something or someone you love. Not to be dark or pessimistic, but to mentally prepare yourself so that if it happens, you are not shattered by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not disturb yourself by imagining your whole life at once. Rather, as each trouble arises, meet it with calmness and self-control." Here is the idea in plain terms. If you've already sat with the thought of losing someone, the actual loss has far less power over you. When my closest friend told me they were thinking of moving to another country, I felt a wave of dread. We had been inseparable. The idea of them being on the other side of the world felt unbearable. But instead of pushing that fear away, I leaned into it. Every day, I quietly imagined life without them nearby. I pictured my mornings without our usual talks. I pictured weekends without them. At first, it hurt. But over time, I realized something important. I could survive it. I would miss them deeply, but life would still go on. I would still find joy. When they finally moved, I wasn't blindsided. The goodbye was painful, yes, but I had already walked through that grief in my mind. It didn't break me. This is the real gift of negative visualization. It builds something inside you that can't be easily shaken. It teaches you, again and again, that you will be okay, no matter what. And once you truly believe that, once you know in your bones that you can survive loss, you stop gripping people so tightly. You stop needing them to stay in order to feel safe. That is emotional freedom. Rule 4. Focus only on what you can control. This is perhaps the most powerful rule of all. One of the deepest reasons we suffer in relationships is this. We keep trying to control things we have no power over. How someone feels about us, whether they choose to stay, whether they love us the way we love them. Marcus Aurelius was clear about this throughout his entire life. There are things within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses. And there are things outside your control, other people's feelings, their choices, the outcome of situations. The more energy you pour into controlling what you can't, the more you suffer. I once spent months in a relationship doing everything I could think of to keep the other person engaged, planning perfect dates, sending thoughtful messages, being endlessly available. But no matter how much I gave, it never felt like enough. They would pull away and I would try harder. It was exhausting. The moment I finally accepted, I cannot make someone love me more by trying harder, everything shifted. I stopped chasing, I stopped performing, and ironically, I stopped suffering, because I had taken my power back. Here's what this looks like in real life. The next time you feel anxious about someone pulling away, ask yourself, what is actually in my control right now? You can control whether you communicate clearly. You can control whether you set boundaries. You can control whether you invest your energy in people who give it back. You cannot control whether they choose you, and trying to do so will only wear you down. True emotional detachment is not indifference, it is acceptance. Acceptance that you cannot write another person's story, only your own. Rule 5. Zoom out and see the bigger picture. When you are deep inside emotional pain, the world shrinks. That one person, that one loss, that one moment, it starts to feel like everything. But the Stoics want you to remember, it is not. Marcus Aurelius regularly reminded himself of how vast time and the universe truly are, and how small our daily troubles appear against that backdrop. He would ask himself, will this matter in 100 years? In 10? In 5? When I went through a painful breakup, I was convinced for weeks that my life had lost its color. I couldn't imagine feeling normal again, let alone happy. But slowly, I started to zoom out. I thought about the other hard moments I had already survived, the friendships I thought would break me when they ended, the disappointments I was sure I'd never recover from. And I had survived every single one. This person, as much as I cared for them, was one chapter in a very long book. A meaningful chapter, yes, but not the whole story. When you see your life as a long, rich journey full of many people, many seasons, and many versions of yourself, you stop making any single person the center of it all. You begin to understand that clinging to someone, or to what you had with them, is like trying to hold a river in your hands. Life wants to move. Let it. Before we wrap up, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. More videos like this one are on the way, and I don't want you to miss them. Hit the bell so you're notified every time. It means more than you know. Emotional detachment is not about going cold. It is not about pretending you don't feel. It is not about building walls. It is about becoming strong enough to feel deeply and stay free. To love without losing yourself. To let go without shutting down. The 5 rules we talked about today. Embrace impermanence, nothing lasts, and that's okay. Master your emotions through your thoughts. You have more control than you think. Practice imagining loss so it no longer controls you. Focus on what you can control and release what you can't. See the bigger picture. You are more than this one moment. These are not quick fixes, they are a way of life, and like any skill worth having, they take time, practice, and patience with yourself. But every time you choose your peace over your attachment, every time you step back and think instead of react, you are walking the Stoic path. And that path leads somewhere worth going. If this video spoke to you, please leave a comment below. Tell me which rule hit you the hardest, or share your story. Someone out there needs to know they're not alone. And if you found value here, share this with someone who needs it today. Until next time, take care of your mind. It's the one home you'll live in forever. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every week.